Hi, my name is Linda Cirulli-Burton, and welcome to this channel named Above the Battleground ACIM. Above the Battleground is based on the teachings of a spiritual self-study path known as A Course in Miracles. I've been a student of A Course in Miracles since 1992 and recently have felt the urge to share lessons and insights from this path with the thought that doing this will deepen it within me and may, of course, be of some benefit to you. So welcome back to today's rumination, special relationships, the good, the bad, and the holy, part 3. In part 2, I shared with you somewhat the dynamics of the special hate relationship and how in a holy instant, in choosing the right mind, previously hate relationship removed a blockage to the awareness of love's presence and became holy. And I still smile, and I think I'll always smile about it. But of course, I intend on compiling many more examples of surmounting or transcending those special hateful relationships. Today, what I want to talk about is special love relationships. And special love relationships, I'm going to lean more towards this particular arena, and that's the arena of the romantic partner, the significant other, the special person. I want to go into that. Now, I can't pretend to be the world's greatest source of information on romantic liaisons, but I have lived a long time, and I have my own experiences, and I've listened and learned from many, many people. However, I will tell you that struggling to make sense of the special love relationship and its transference to a holy relationship has not been easy for me. And I really have spent hours and hours and hours reading within the Course in Miracles, watching videos of other students of A Course in Miracles tackling this particular topic, reading blogs about this topic. And so what you're going to get from me is sort of like the Course in Miracles, doing the best that I can. I'm doing the best I can with A Course in Miracles. So let me say that once again, sharing these lessons with you really is deepening this inside me. And I am extremely grateful that I have a nephew, I have a little office, and I have these cameras so that I can do this. This really is helping me. So now, what I've come to an understanding of is that for many of these particular lessons that I'm sharing, it's necessary to review with you the mythology of A Course in Miracles. Okay, A Course in Miracles, that this did not happen, but this is what we believe on an unconscious level did indeed happen. There was a time, or I should say outside of time, outside of space, where there was God the Father and God the Son in perfect, blissful, never-ending love, in union. And then, according to A Course in Miracles, a tiny mad idea crept into the sonship, at which the Son of God forgot to laugh. And basically what this is that I can separate from God, the sonship. We can separate from God, and we can find our own identity, our own sense of specialness, and our power. We will take the power from God the Father, from our Creator, and we will be strong. So what happened is literally the first split. The split of the sonship, Christ, from God the Father. Then there was more splitting. Another split where there would be the wrong mind of the ego and the right mind of spirit. Inside of the wrong mind, there would be millions and millions more splits. And inside of all these splits, there would be all these different forms, all these different bodies, these bodies with brains and all kinds of shapes out there. And sin, guilt, and fear, really the most important thing that was operating in the wrong mind, in the ego mind. And let me just say that the concept of special love relationships exists in the wrong mind, in the ego mind. So let me keep myself organized here, okay? If I believe on some subterranean level that I once experienced the perfect love of God, and in my right mind, there is the voice for God, there is the Holy Spirit. Somewhere in that mind, I know that I don't belong here. My home is somewhere else. Well, I'm going to tell you now that the ego cannot tolerate that. And so what the ego has created is, for us, the concept of special love relationship. So here I am. I'm born in this body, this silly, trivial body, and I feel a lot of emotions because I am no longer experiencing the perfect love, okay? I feel deprived, incomplete, lacking, empty, victimized, deficient, ugly, unworthy, vulnerable. These are the feelings that I feel, everyone else feels. So what do? Let me read to you a short quote from A Course in Miracles regarding the special love relationship. It says, "The special love relationship is the ego's most boasted gift, and one which has the most appeal to those unwilling to relinquish guilt." So when you think about it, there was, outside of time and space, a unity, a union of love between the Creator and the sonship. Now, that union meant that neither one of us was special because we were all loved equally. We were the same. We were part of the Christ. And that is what our reality, with a capital R, was indeed. Now we're in the wrong ego mind, and everything is separation and, exclusivity. I am needy. I have issues. And then you show up. You will now fulfill my needs, my need for kindness, understanding, compassion, my desire to feel special, unique to you, not like everybody else, but special. And the same, I bring it to you. You are special. You are separate from me, but you have the answers for my life. Now, I do want to say this because virtually every single one of us, when we get involved in a relationship like this, it is definitely a special love. It is very illusory in terms of being love, but it's the way virtually all of our relationships begin, unless we bring attention and intention to these relationships. So now, when you think about it, this is very important. My dependency on you is frightening. It's frightening. The loss of you, when I require that you should fulfill my needs because you are a special person. You have special attributes. I don't have them. I need them. Now, I have learned to look along with terrible sadness, compassion for relationships that break up and one of the parties can get violent, and while in the world of the ego, there's consequences for that. on another level, you can see the fear and the torture that happens when someone's relationship breaks up because of the burden that's being placed on it. So I really want to tell you that the ego mind uses the special relationship as a triumph against God. I know, does it sound crazy? I know it sounds crazy. And yet, as you consider it more and more and more, it really comes to some really profound understanding. It is my triumph against God. I don't need God's love anymore. I don't need that union of not being special and being just part of everybody else. I don't need it, because right now I've got this person who thinks of me in a special, exclusive way, and I don't have to deal with any of that other stuff. I just have this. Now, I will say that, and I've mentioned to you that my relationship with my husband certainly began as a special love relationship. He was a very, very calm man, and I think you can tell by now that I'm, sort of your passionate, crazy person. And I feel that I required calm and lovely and stillness in my partner, which I didn't have. So I have to tell you that one time I looked at him, I said, oh my God, being married to you is like taking Prozac every day. And it's obvious that I brought a little life into your life. And we laughed. But it was. There were things about this that were very, separate, outside myself, bringing it in. Now, as time went on and my husband was diagnosed with cancer, I'm going to tell you that my horror and my terror at the potential loss of this man was absolutely through the roof. And, if occasionally I would drink too much, or there was this terrible episode with brownies, well, actually I think it was with chocolate chip cookies. And I'll tell you something, when I wasn't on my game, I really was cringy and clingy. And it was like, oh, please don't leave me. Oh, don't leave me. Don't leave me. Come on now. So anyway, I'll never forget when my husband, who was a reasonably calm person, said to me with tears in his eyes, Linda, I'm so afraid I've ruined your life. And in that moment, the way I would want Linda to be with the Holy Spirit and with Jesus, I said to my husband, to have one day with you is worth having decades with another person. And then I hugged him, he hugged me. And I'm going to say honestly that when I look back, everything shifted. It was like every moment in the presence of that beautiful human being became full of love. And it was the love that came from the right mind. First, I went to that mountaintop, okay? I looked at my manipulations, my screams of fear, my illusory craziness. I looked at me with Jesus next to me, with the Holy Spirit. And then I went into the right mind. And when I was in the right mind, I wanted the world to experience the goodness, the joyfulness of this man that had come not just to me, but to everybody whose path crossed his. It was in the right mind. Our love was no longer exclusive. It was no longer just Jimmy and Linda. It became Jim, Linda, and everybody else. It was love extended in the right mind. I don't know how to explain this. This is where I've struggled. He became not separate from me. I was in it. There was a union. There was a beauty. And the terrific, amazing thing of all of it is that it drew everybody into it. When my husband had to leave me, his body, I was absolutely filled up with love. Not special love, but holy love. And I got it. Holy love is not separated. It's not exclusive. It's not a triumph over God. It is in God's mind. And I can honestly tell you that it's been several years since Jim's physical being left me. But I hear myself saying to people, to new friends, old friends, you know, I'm not very needy. In fact, I'm not needy at all, because I know the love of God. I know the love of God. Well, don't hold it against me, because sometimes, you know, I am crazy, and I do have my bad moments. But having bad moments and having a bad life, they're different. They're different from each other. So I will continue to learn, and I will continue to share for as long as I can. So thank you for being with me today. And just remember, it is very, very possible for a special hate and special love relationships, both of them, to become holy. Thank you for being with me.